Are you, am I, are we willing to be fools for Christ? My observation after 30-plus years on the front lines of America's culture wars, and another 5 or 6 years before that of preaching publicly, of doing a lot of street evangelism, missions work, my observation is that people, Christian people, some people who love the Lord a lot, tend to hold their tongue when they should be speaking. There's a fairly famous quote from Martin Luther. I know that many of us aren't fans of Martin Luther on all levels, but he had a great quote. He said, "If I confess Christ, but I do not defend the one point that at that moment the devil is attacking, then I am not professing Christ, no matter how much I may be talking about him." That's slightly paraphrased, but only so. You can Google it, you'll find the phrase. So if the devil's attacking a certain point, like Jews being killed in Nazi Germany, and you're having a potluck supper at the Lutheran church and talking about intercessory prayer, but you're not defending the Jews, not standing against anti-Semitism, are you in fact doing what God wants you to do? So, this is my advice to you. If you want to have an impact and play a part in holding the Republicans' feet to the fire, lift up your voice and be ready to be a fool for Christ. And by that I simply mean this. Start writing letters to the editor. Start making phone calls to your local talk radio. Write some flyers and distribute them. Post your blog in your area. Lift up your voice saying that my new Republican senator or my Republican House member, put their name in. The question is, will they really fight against Obama's agenda? Or will they be a squish and will they compromise? Like the Democrats have been trying to browbeat them into doing. Hold their feet to the fire. And if you really want to have a part in defining the debate, then hold a protest at the congressional office in your community. Every single House member, there's 435 members of the U.S. House, okay? Every House member has at least one district office in the area where you live, where they represent you, okay? It's going to be 10, 20, at the most 30-minute drive for most of us, unless you're in one of those huge, expansive areas like in Nebraska or Montana or something. But it's generally close. Go there or go to your U.S. Senator's office. And most U.S. Senators have anywhere from 4 to 7 offices in a given state where they're staffed. And you can go and meet with one of the Senate staffers. Go in front of their offices with 3 or 4 or 6 or 10 of your friends and hold up signs and say, we demand Senator so-and-so or Congressman so-and-so defund Planned Parenthood. Or we demand that they stand against Obama's religious tyranny. Figure out something that you want to create the debate. Have a protest in favor of the Keystone Pipeline. Or have a protest that says, we want them to do these 6 things, okay? Stop the homosexual marriage juggernaut. Stop the shedding of innocent blood by funding of Planned Parenthood, defund Planned Parenthood. Open up the Keystone Pipeline. Put boots on the ground to fight against ISIS in Iraq. And no to illegal immigrants getting amnesty. Those 5 things. Pick those 5 things. Have a protest in front of your congressman's office. Give the soundbite, read your little list as quick as you can and say, these are our demands. And if they don't do it, if Mr. So-and-so doesn't do it or Mrs. So-and-so doesn't do it, then we will find a primary candidate to run against them in 2016 for the House and whatever year it is for the Senate. Just threaten them. I mean, this is politics. This is war by another means. Remember, we have elections so that we don't have to kill people, so that we don't have to have a violent transformation of government. But it's still war by another means. And if you want to impact the debate and you want to define the debate, then you've got to be willing to be a fool for Christ. You've got to be willing to have enemies. You've got to be willing to have people say, oh, they're an extremist, or why can't they, just be happy that we have control of Congress? No. The thing that's made me so happy as I've listened to the news over the last few days is that it's not 1994. People aren't going, yay, Newt Gingrich. It's not 2000. People aren't going, oh, Bush is elected and we have both houses of Congress. People are saying, we put the Republicans in, but I don't trust them. All right, well, here's the chance to start to really put pressure on them now, right now, in front of their offices, letters to the editor, phone calls, but more importantly, do press conferences and protests in front of their office. Get in the news, get on TV, get on the radio, get in your newspaper, and define the debate. Put heat to them now. Put their feet to the fire now. Make them uncomfortable now. Because that's how you send the message from the grassroots that'll percolate up. And maybe, just maybe, some of them will become the party of no. No, Mr. Obama, no. Do you want to get America out of the hands of wicked and unjust men and women who are destroying the republic before our eyes, and put leadership back into the hands of righteous men and women so that we don't die as a nation? Well, you're talking about social revolution, and there are rules in social revolution. We can look at the victorious social revolutions of the past, such as the end of slavery, the end of child labor, women's voting rights, the end of segregation, and so much more, and learn from their victories. Look at their actions, their images, their rhetoric, their sacrifices, and their final fruit. We will send you this series that originally cost $129, 7 books for students, 1 teacher's guide, if you'll give a gift of any size and just pay for shipping and handling. Take advantage of it today.